Hi guys, welcome to the Popcorn Theory. As disappointing as episode 5 was, there was something very interesting that caught my attention when I saw the Dothraki riders march through the city gates in King's Landing. Remember back in season 1 when the wine seller had tried poisoning Daenerys? Well, when Khal Drogo came to know that King Robert had tried to kill his Targaryen wife, he made a certain vow.
Man anhaveloshak al aka. Man anhaveloshak jin ador chikate. Vina neve ave maisimai. Anavejak man reshi sandache. Ana jedrogo atakjin. Ana vadrivak mahanshi sofindi onde. Ogar chikate ma. Vo parako gwini win more.
Although he had promised these things to his unborn son, thereby promising them to Daenerys only indirectly, the foreshadowing is just too obvious to ignore. And I think that after the latest episode, Drogo has pretty much fulfilled his vow. The only catch is that, well, Drogo is dead. But is he? I have come to believe, like many others, that Drogon is in fact Drogo reborn. Let me do some explaining now. When Drogo died, Daenerys tied Mirri Maz Duur to his funeral pyre. When Mirri told Daenerys that she won't scream as she burns, Daenerys tells her, "I will, but it is not your screams that I want, only your life. I remembered what you told me, only death can pay for life." Mirri Maz Duur, who otherwise looked pretty much resigned to her fate and seemed to have accepted death quite peacefully, suddenly looked fearful when she realized that Daenerys is actually going to evoke some kind of ancient magic. In the books, the lines go as she stepped away, Daenerys saw that the content was gone from the Maggie's black eyes. In its place was something that might have been fear. Now Mirri was a godwife, well versed with the different kind of magic which was practiced in various parts of Essos. As a young girl, she had travelled to Ashai to learn the mystical arts of shadow binding. Remember somebody else who was from Ashai? Yeah. So it wouldn't be surprising if Mirri was aware of the intricate magic that involved the birth of dragons. And when she realized what Daenerys was planning to do at Drogo's funeral pyre, it freaked her out. Remember, Mirri was a skilled shadow binder who understood life and death and could evoke something that lies between the two mediums. What if what she was really afraid of was that Daenerys was unconsciously going to bring her husband back in some form or the other? Know that she had done something similar inside the tent when she was supposedly treating Drogo, using some kind of fire and blood sorcery. Also, dragons have been described to be born out of fire and blood. Melisandre had mentioned on various occasions just how potent the blood of a king can be. And Khal Drogo was a king. So quite possibly Drogo's blood and the fire lighted by Daenerys could have evoked some kind of magic that ultimately led to his birth as Drogon. I believe that Drogon is not just Drogo's namesake, but him reborn. And there are small but significant hints that support this theory all over the series. Remember when Drogon comes to Daenerys' rescue when she was attacked by the Sons of the Harpy back in Meereen? After he rescued her, he flew her away to, yes, the Dothraki grasslands. Later, when the Dothraki followed Daenerys after she kills all the Khals and Vaes Dothrak, they seem to do so only half-heartedly. But when Drogon arrives and they see her seated on him giving that awesome speech wherein she mentions the promise that Drogo had made to her, it is then when they go all crazy for her cause. And then there is this fact that the bond that Daenerys shares with Drogon is just so different from what she has with the other two. So whether Daenerys chooses to sit on the throne or not in the finale, I doubt she will. Perhaps she'll be taken by some huge ass remorse for what she did in episode 5. He had promised her that he would get her the Iron Throne, and she now pretty much has it. It's just a matter of her walking up to it and sitting on it now. So guys, do let me know if you find this theory plausible. Do not forget to mention your thoughts in the comment section. I will be coming up with another video pretty soon, so Subscribe to the Popcorn Theory so that you do not miss out on anything. Till then, bye bye.